So today was another day of adventure, if you will, for the dollar. So the dollar ended up having a full pullback, but this was on the heels of bullish news that came out for the dollar. So whenever something like that happens, that just means that the market had already factored that in. Because again, one of the things we've been pointing out inside of the community is that this move that has happened is against trend. So the trend is a trend that is a downward trend. So with this downward trend that it has been in, we have this, and with this, as far as what we have for this downtrend that we're in, it has been a consistent downtrend. Now with this bounce that we got, that we have here for the top of last week into this week. Now with this bounce, this is a counter trend bounce. And so whenever you have a counter trend bounce, one of the things we've been sharing and talking about in the community is that you want to be quick to take your profits. You want to make sure that you take those profits quickly, because of the fact that you're trading against the trend. So all of the moving averages were flowing in order downward. So 200, 150, 20, all of them moving downward in order. So we're taking trades against the trend. So you want to lock in those profits quickly. Now, as it pertains to the news that came out today for the dollar, the news came out, it was bullish news. And so the news sold off. So so we were here. So the news sold off as it came in and everything came back down. And so this ended up becoming a full retracement for the week. So a complete and full retracement for the week. After that full retracement for the week, that's when price decided to bounce and it held that 103.50 area, which was an area that could not hold price last week. So last week, that area could not hold price. And so this week, after getting above that area, that's where price comes back down and drops to. With that being said, it's super important to understand that backdrop because we do have more bullish news coming in tomorrow. Expected bullish news coming in tomorrow. And with that bullish news, what's the expectation? The expectation is if that news does indeed come in bullish, then we'll have this maintained. So we'll have this 103.50 area able to maintain. The next place that this should be able to get is to secure both its shorter term moving averages, the 50 and the 20. So the 20 will be down here about that time as far as when tomorrow opens up. And then for the 50, it's already at the 50, and it came back and touched the 50 before the day closed. So with that, we see here for the UC idea, we see that this one was able to recapture 136. We talked about 136 being a very important, very key, very critical area. And the sellers stopped at 136. The buyers stopped just south of 136. And so 136 did not hold for the day. And so we'll be looking at how that one ends up for the rest of the week and how that one kind of finishes out the week. We also see for GU that GU was able to regain its 100 period moving average, and it stopped just shy because, again, with more bullish news coming out, more expected bullish news coming out for the dollar, that is going to cause for this to retreat again. So with that, it has been respecting in a great way the 20 period moving average until that final news for this week for the dollar comes in tomorrow morning. We see for the EU idea, again, respecting the 20 period moving average. So came up here, touched the what got close to touching the 200 before retreating and coming back underneath all of its moving averages. And then we see here for the AU idea, we talked about the bullishness of this one and how it made it back above all of its moving averages. And so now we talk, and we also talked about the importance of holding on to 66. It did lose 66, but it's still above all of its moving averages. So when the news for the dollar comes back, as far as in the AM, if it is bullish news, I can see this one coming back down, testing its 20 period moving average, and then potentially bouncing or just staying in between its 20 period moving average and the 66 cent area going into this week's close. We also have for the NU idea, was able to maintain all of its moving averages after bouncing in like manner with the AU idea. Again, down for the week still, but with this one, the AU and the NU ideas have been the most bullish ideas of our US dollar pairs. with that being said, we will be looking at these ideas tomorrow and seeing how everything is going to shape up for the end of the week. Again, if you guys are following and tracking these trades with us. Again, the important part and the main factors are looking at the news, being aware of what's taking place with the news, and then being mindful of where you are on the chart. So that's what we have for our charts, with the U.S. news coming out tomorrow to cap off the end of the week. And I'll see you guys then.